This module covers Amazon Inspector, a tool that helps you improve the security and compliance of applications deployed on AWS. Today, for any business, security is a top priority. Threat assessment is a vital part of any security plan, but the tools available are costly and time-consuming to build, configure, and maintain, making it difficult to incorporate them into the development lifecycle. Without an effective automated tool to perform security assessments, companies spend too much time doing manual assessments and run the risk of missing security vulnerabilities. Amazon Inspector can help address these issues. Amazon Inspector is an automated security assessment service that helps you improve the security and compliance of applications deployed on AWS. The service automatically assesses applications for vulnerabilities or deviations from best practices. After performing an assessment, Amazon Inspector produces a detailed report with prioritized steps for remediation. It is important to note that AWS does not guarantee that following the provided recommendations will resolve every potential security issue. The findings generated by Amazon Inspector depend on your choice of rules packages included in each assessment template, the presence of non-AWS components in your system, and other factors. You are responsible for the security of applications, processes, and tools that run on AWS services. For more information, see the AWS Shared Responsibility model at the URL displayed. Let's talk about a few other things Amazon Inspector can do for your organization. Amazon Inspector helps you identify security vulnerabilities as well as deviations from security best practices in applications, both before they are deployed and while they are running in a production environment. This helps improve the overall security posture of your applications deployed on AWS. Amazon Inspector is agent-based, API-driven, and delivered as a service. This makes it easy for you to build right into your existing DevOps process, decentralizing and automating vulnerability assessments, and empowering your development and operation teams to make security assessments as an integral part of the deployment process. The service helps you reduce the risk of introducing security issues during development and deployment by automating the security assessment of your applications and proactively identifying vulnerabilities. This allows you to develop and iterate on new applications quickly and assess compliance with best practices and policies. AWS continuously assesses the AWS environment and updates a knowledge base of the security best practices and rules. Amazon Inspector makes this expertise available to you in a form of a service that simplifies the process of establishing and enforcing best practices within your AWS environment. Amazon Inspector gives security teams and auditors visibility into security testing during application development. This streamlines the process of validating and demonstrating that security and compliance standards and best practices are being followed. Amazon Inspector allows you to define standards and best practices for your applications and validate adherence to these standards. This simplifies enforcement of your organization's security standards and best practices and helps you proactively manage security issues before they impact your production application. You can access these features in a few different ways. Sign into the AWS Management Console, then open the Amazon Inspector Console, a browser-based interface that allows you to access the service. You can also use the AWS CLI, the SDK, or the API to access the service. Using the AWS command line tools to execute Amazon Inspector tasks can be faster and more convenient than using the console. To help you get started quickly, Amazon Inspector includes a knowledge base of hundreds of rules mapped to common security compliance standards and vulnerability definitions. Examples of built-in rules include checking for remote root login being enabled or vulnerable software versions installed. These rules are regularly updated by AWS security researchers. When Amazon Inspector assesses a target, it delivers findings, that is, detailed descriptions of potential security issues. Findings also contain recommendations for how to resolve security issues. Let's wrap up by reviewing what Amazon Inspector can do for your organization. As you learned, Amazon Inspector enables you to quickly and easily assess the security of your AWS resources for forensics, troubleshooting, or active auditing purposes at your own pace. Focus on more complex security problems by offloading the overall security assessment of your infrastructure to this automated service. Gain deeper understanding of your AWS resources because Amazon Inspector findings are produced through the analysis of real activity and configuration data of your AWS resources. To learn more, visit awsamazon.com/inspector.